On Tuesday night, President Donald Trump issued the first State of the Union address of his second term as president. In the longest State of the Union speech in modern history, close to 2 hours, the president painted the picture of an America that's thriving economically with lower energy costs, revitalized cities, and one that's safer today than it was a year ago because of his immigration policies. He also called on Congress to pass the Save America Act that would require proof of citizenship and make a number of other changes to the voting process across the country. President Trump took the opportunity to call out Democrats throughout the speech, particularly at a moment when he asked all members of Congress to rise if they agreed that, quote, the first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. Democrats did not rise, while Republicans applauded for nearly a minute. It was one of several moments that showed the deep divide between the parties. Here's a portion of the president's speech.
Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
Well, some Democrats chose not to attend the State of the Union at all, while others were removed from the chamber due to outbursts during the speech. U.S. Senator Andy Kim was there, and he joins us now with his reaction to what he saw and heard. Senator, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk with us. I want to ask, how do you react to President Trump saying that this is the golden age of America and the safest our country has been?
Well, his speech is delusional. It's so out of touch with what the American people are actually feeling. You know, I did a town hall in Asbury Park a couple days ago, and when I asked people what the State of the Union they think is, and they would use words like unaffordable and chaos, you know, the fact that, as you pointed out, Trump spoke for nearly 2 hours. He spent less than 3 minutes talking about affordability, less than 4 minutes talking about health care. You know, he's not focused on the issues that people really care about. Instead, he's going on these tirades, you know, about democracy protection, but he's not trying to protect it. He's trying to subvert it. You know, he's trying to sow disinformation into the minds of the American people with his lies. And just to be there in the chamber and to see just how rabid you know, his supporters are, you know, about the lies that he's saying, very much worried me about the state of our democracy in our country right now.
You mentioned health care, and I just have to ask, the president did say that he had laid out a health plan that would be better than what we colloquially call Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. Have you heard any specifics of a plan that would replace or improve upon the ACA?
Zero. And the president has said that in the past, that they don't have a plan yet. You know, this has been just something that they have been gutting and kneecapping. You know, their plan was to gut Medicaid, as they successfully did last year. That's going to hurt millions of Americans. Their plan is to take away the support and the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act that millions of Americans depend on. We already saw over 1 million less people on the marketplace this year. We're already seeing many, many Americans suffering and struggling. I heard from a number that attended yesterday that talked about how their premiums have gone up 2, 3, 4-fold. That's their plan. That's what they're enacting. And that's something that's hurting so many people. And it's why the American people are furious at Trump right now. He can go on and throw red meat to his base, but the vast, vast, vast majority of Americans disapprove of what this president's doing.
He referenced polling that says that he's actually polling very well among the American public.
I know. He can just keep making things up. I mean, you know, he just, you know, but it doesn't make it true.
I have to ask you, you know, he says that America is finally respected all over the world. It's something we hear kind of the ping pong ball of which, you know, which party is in power says we're finally respected. You say not so. In fact, you said we're no longer seen as the indispensable nation. We're seen as the unreliable nation. Explain your thoughts and whose reality is real.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, I was at the Munich Security Conference about a week ago and talked with a number of world leaders, including leaders of our allied nations. And every single one of them told me that they can't even comprehend what is happening to America right now, that especially after Trump's threats of military action against Greenland, that they have moved on. They have just seen this as a threshold that we have broken through, and they cannot trust us. And it's not just about Trump anymore. They just don't trust our system of governance anymore. So this is something that's going to leave us weaker, leave us poorer, and something that is a direct result of Trump alienating the rest of the world, turning our backs, not even just turning our backs, but actively attacking our allies and our partners. And who is that boosting? It's just boosting Russia, it's boosting China, our competitors and our adversaries. So, this is a situation, as I've worked in national security my whole career, I find it to be appalling how we have just shot ourselves in the foot and abdicated our title as a leader of the free world.
Senator, one of the deepest divides in America right now is the way that ICE and immigration enforcement is being carried out. Democrats did not rise when the president asked who agrees that the first priority is to serve the American citizens rather than, as he says, illegal aliens. Did you rise? I'm not going to ask you to speak on behalf of your entire party, but how did you see that moment and how did you respond?
I am not a prop to Donald Trump. When he is saying that without taking any accountability that ICE and CBP killed American citizens in Minnesota, not once did he mention Alex Preti, not once did he mention Renee Good, the fact that they are continuing to deny any accountability with the deaths of Americans. So when he goes up and tries to make this some type of show, I'm not going to play along to that game. His administration is directly responsible for the deaths of American citizens, and they should be held to account, and they shouldn't be able to pretend like that didn't happen and that he can just use this performance to cover it up, which is exactly what they're doing. They're doing a cover-up about those killings.
I have to ask you, you recently got involved in what's happening with ICE in Roxbury, the purchase of a facility, a warehouse, but from Dalphin Industrial, a company there in the township. The Republican-led town council does not want to see this, tried to pass an ordinance to block it. I know you met with local and state officials this weekend. What did you talk about? What are they hoping they can still do to block the purchase of this warehouse to be used as a detention facility?
As you pointed out, this is a Republican-led town that voted for Trump, and even they are saying this is not something we want to see here. Nobody wants this detention facility in Roxbury. We don't want it anywhere in New Jersey. We are seeing just the problems there. Not only is it just that ICE is trying to ram this down the throats of the folks in Roxbury, but they're doing it without even talking to them. I mean, the administration put forward letters saying that they've done surveys and assessments about sewage and water and feasibility. They've done none of that. They're just literally lying to us that they have done this. So I'm demanding, well, if you said you did these studies, well, show it to me. Show it to the people in Roxbury, because they have not once called to inquire about the issues and the challenges of logistics. This is something that's going to have a huge and immediate impact, not only on Roxbury, but the surrounding communities. So people are furious, and not just the fact that they're doing this, but the fact that they have not engaged the locals at all. The level of disrespect coming out is just palpable. And they're not just doing it here in New Jersey, they're doing it all over the country. I talked to Republican senators this week where this administration is trying to push this in their states too, and they can't stand how this is happening.
Do you believe that Republicans in Congress, including Congressman Tom Kean Jr., who does represent Roxbury as part of his district, do you believe that Republicans need to do more to, one, represent the folks who they were elected by, and two, to push back against ICE and this administration?
Look, they should, but I don't have confidence in Tom Kean taking up this. I mean, this is something where we put forward a letter to the administration trying to halt this, and he refused to sign on. I'm hearing left and right what you saw in the State of the Union yesterday, just the Republicans in Congress continuing to just back this president for whatever he's doing. It's not the right approach, and it's certainly not serving our constituents.
All right, U.S. Senator Andy Kim, we have to leave it there, but thank you for your time today.
Thank you.